just had thoughts on the end of the K&N West race. A lot of people are calling it controversial, but I think it's just good, hard, regular short track racing. I don't think Hallie did anything wrong. I think she held her line, and it's just good short track racing.
Well, I'm going to let the driver go.
All right,
first.
driver.
I can see it.
Hey, I'm not going to disagree with his assessment right there. That is short track racing across the country, and it's what you see, and especially in 2019, this day and time. As a driver, you have to make your mark. You have to get wins when they're right there, and I think I always looked at this in a way, did I do that a lot during my time, which was in the 90s and early 2000s? No. But I think as a driver now, you have to make that happen. You have to make things happen for yourself. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think, what any of the three of us and what the fans out there think. It's up to Hallie Deegan. If she can get up in the next morning and look in the mirror and say, I'm good with what I did, how I went and drove that race, and I took that. And I think she did an outstanding job. I didn't see anything that was dirty there. It wasn't like she ran into the back of him and spun him out. She had a small opening, and she took that. So I'm okay with that.
I think what I appreciate the most is Hallie Deegan has the last name, has the looks, has the sponsor, has the presence on social media, has everything to be successful, yet drives like she has none. Drives like her performance on the racetrack is what's going to have to make her stand out over everybody else. That, with everything I listed as a combination, is making me a Hallie Deegan fan. Do I love this move? I won't say I love it. I don't have a problem with it. Much what DJ said, what I did appreciate is she owned it. She didn't get on social media and apologize. She was just the opposite. She said, no, no, no. Her opinion was the driver ran her up the track to take the lead, so she went in, didn't hit him in the rear bumper, got inside the left rear, and moved him up the track. I will say I think a few more years of experience, and she won't spin the guy. She'll just send him up the racetrack a little bit, little Jeff Gordon-esque, little bump and run and go on by. But, look, there's always going to be controversy. In the end, my question is, to you, Mike Bagley, if she would have run second and not touched her teammate, how much would you have talked about her all week on SiriusXM?
Well, that's a good point. Probably none at all. However, is it more important to be talked about during the week or start your reputation as a driver that perhaps maybe will override any skill set that you have? The talk is about how she raced, and that's obviously created a lot of conversation. We talked about it this morning on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. And my problem with the whole issue was what she did after. It's like, I won the race, and that's all that mattered. But to me, there's more to it than that. To me, there's a longer effect because she's done this before. She's had issues where she's had contact, and she's slowly starting to gain the reputation of, yeah, I won the race, but there was contact involved for me to get it. And when you're 17 years old, you've not even really gotten started yet. That can stick with a driver for a long, long time.
Well, yeah, but we've seen a couple of drivers go through their careers and have a big bank account because they were that aggressive and did that and didn't give a damn what anybody else said or thought. So, they owned up to it. My thing that strikes me is that what happens when she's in this situation and gets taken out, a payback at some point in time, because that's usually going to come around at some point in time. How does she handle that situation? Right. If she's okay with it coming back on her, then I'm perfectly good with her being aggressive here and making her name. And if she's known as an aggressive race driver, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I know she has at least one coming.
Oh, yeah, she has one coming. But to her defense, listen, the series she runs in doesn't run in a lot of 1.5 and 2 mile tracks, as in none. So, to say, well, she's done this 3 times, well, okay, she did it at a very small dirt track and 2 little asphalt bull rings. I was going to go on a limb and say whoever won those races were going to win by that move. It just happened to be her. Someone was going to win. Might as well be her.
Hey, Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.